broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege.
We are live for UFC 302, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Been waiting for this for a couple months now. Glad it's here. Also in the co-main event, big middleweight fight between Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. And up next, fight 3, Kevin Holland versus McCall Alexichuk. So this is what's coming up. You're going to want to stay tuned, not miss it. But right now, we're going to show you how things went earlier in the night. No KOs or TKOs yet tonight. A lot of decisions. But right after this break, we're coming back. We got Kevin Holland, so stay tuned and welcome to the watch party. Mitch Raposo and Andre Lima just waiting on the decision here, but it seems to me like Lima's going to get this win, man. And a tough fight coming in. He's 8-0, right? Raposo 9-1. So how's this fight going to go? We went with Andre Lima. I mean, he led 43-27 in significant strikes. Kind of pieced him up. But a lot of those were leg strikes, but he controlled the fight. Oh, split decision, 30-27 Lima. 29-28 Raposo. 30-27. That's crazy. Andre Lima wins by split decision, 30-27 on two judges, and then Raposo had 29-28 the other way. So I don't know, man. I don't get that. But nonetheless, hey, we're 1-0 on the night. After the week off, we get the big win to start the night. Andre Lima, Brazilian, moves to 9-0, just like we told you he would. Flyweight division, UFC 302. Aline Perez and Jocelyn Edwards coming together. So as we await this decision, the quick backstory is that these two went at it in the gym, right? Nearly led to a lawsuit. They finally get scheduled in a UFC fight, and now they're on both knees, talking it out. It looks like it's over. The whole team's coming together. Look at this. So it seems the beef is squashed, which tends to happen after you go in a 15-minute fight with somebody, right? All the adrenaline gets out. And, you know, one of them's going to walk away with the decision here. Maybe, should be probably Aline Perez. She had 6 takedowns, some submission attempts, 4-17 of control. But oddly enough, Edwards had 5-11 of control. So she flipped some positions, but at the end of the day, Aline Perez had all those takedowns. She's going to get the win. But Edwards, 108-54 in total strikes, but significant strikes, 28-20. So I just think all those takedowns make the big difference. But already Joe Rogan and Cormier talking about how we have no idea what the scorecard's going to say after the first fight. Which the first fight went the right way, but one judge was completely off of the other two. So here we go. Here we go. Come on, give us Perez. 2-0. 2-0. Unanimous. Let's go. Give it to her. Perez. Yes. Yes. 2-0 on the night. Aline Perez gets the win. She's now 10-2. She gets a decision win. Women's bantamweight division. UFC 302. What a battle, man. Mickey Gall, Basile Hafez. These guys went to work, man. Over 300 significant strikes thrown. 340 to be exact. But Hafez led 71-60 in significant strikes. It seemed like he was a little bit ahead in each round. But here goes the decision now. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. It's going to be Basile Hafez gets the win. And, you know, he landed some big shots. The crowd doesn't like it because Mickey Gall's from New Jersey, right? But Basile Hafez is going to move to 9-4. And, you know, he was throwing some major punches. he also took some, and when he took them, he said, he was like smiling and saying, "Come on," like he loves it. He loves a good slugfest, and that's what it was here between these two. A great fight to watch. This wraps it up for the early prelims here, welterweight division, UFC 302. And it's hard to believe a fourth decision in a row coming here between Phil Rowe and Jake Matthews to kick off UFC 302. And we're well into it now, but we got 4 straight decisions. This one's going to be an easy one, though. Jake Matthews absolutely dominated this fight, 73-33 in significant strikes. He had 304 of control on 1 takedown. Also head strikes, 52-27. So he just pieced up Phil Rowe, who really struggled in this fight and was in deep trouble at the end of round 1 and most of round 2. So he's going to fall to 10-5. Jake Matthews is going to get the win. He's going to move to 20-7. Welterweight division, UFC 302. The boo's getting louder and louder here at UFC 302. This fight, which lightweight division, right? Best division in the UFC between Grant Dawson and Joe Solecki. Wasn't the best fight. I mean, Grant Dawson just dominated, 38-8 in significant strikes, 132-19 in total strikes as both these guys hug it out. Also 13:46 of control time on 3 takedowns. Just a dominating performance. Forget the decision here. It's going to Grant Dawson. Easy, unanimous decision to move to 21-2. So incredible record there. He had to grind out a victory, much like Aljamain Sterling at UFC 300. Just pin him down and win that way. Lightweight division, UFC 302. Jailton Almeida now has the back. And this crowd is waiting on a submission, something here. We haven't had a finish tonight. 5 straight fights. All decisions. You get into a heavyweight fight here, and now the fight's on the ground. So New Jersey's about to go crazy. But early in the first. Oh, look at this. He gets underneath. Oh, this is tight. This is tight, and he taps, and that's it. Finally a finish. Number 7, Jailton Almeida is back. And this guy is freaking huge, man. This guy is huge. He's going to move to 21-3. So, he continues beating people, right? He had the setback against Curtis Blades despite the 9 takedowns, dominated that fight, and then just got finished on a takedown attempt. Curtis Blades kind of just had enough, but he's back. He gets a win. This is not really a softball because Romanov was 17-2, but a softball in a sense that Romanov's not going to be able to defend takedowns or deal with him on the ground. And he just needed to get the win, and he does. And you see this, he takes the single leg, lets that go, takes the legs out, and it goes to the ground, and 30 seconds later he gets the victory. So Jailton Almeida, the Brazilian, 21-3. Big finish here. Got the crowd roaring at UFC 302. Yeah, and this fight went exactly how I thought it would go. Roman Kopylov getting beat on the feet, having to take it to the ground. The crowd didn't like it. New Jersey wants to see a finish. They don't get it. 5 takedowns for Kopylov, 840 of control. But will the fans sway the judges? It was 46-37 in significant strikes for Almeida. Right, he's just 5-0 though. So I figured Kopylov, being a veteran, would get the win here. We'll see. Let's go. Let's go. It's going to be split. 29-28 Kopylov. 29-28 Almeida. 30-27. Dang. Oh, yes. Roman Kopylov gets the win. And he should. And you can't have over 2 minutes of control in each round and not get a 30-27. So I like it. I like it. 29-28 at worst. The one judge, I don't know what fight he was watching, but Roman Kopylov gets the win. He moves to 13-3 here, middleweight division. Final fight before the main card at UFC 302. There's Joey Diaz, baby. Okay. Okay.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back. It's your boy Chris Cross. This is the TCMMA podcast. We are live. Kevin Holland and McCall Alexichuk up next. I'm excited about this one, man. I got Kevin Holland all day, every day. Not enough time to play the prediction, but I got Kevin Holland winning winning this thing. We're sitting at 7-2 on the night. No major finishes on the night. As far as KOs, you had one submission and just a lot of decisions, man. I mean, a lot of decisions. So hopefully we can get a finish here in this next one. Trump in the house, showing up right around 10 o'clock for the main card. Place went crazy, you know, as expected. Both fighters in the octagon right now. Kevin Holland made his way in. And here goes Buffer. He's getting on the mic, and this thing is underway. And it's been a solid night so far. Again, 7-2. We need this one to come through. I know I got Kevin Holland, but let me make sure I double check. Yeah, we got Kevin Holland winning this thing. So we need this to come through. Make no mistake about it. Not your night, Mihal. It's not your night, Mihal. It's not your night, baby. Back in the middleweight. Looking bigger and stronger. Fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas. 25-11. Heavy favorite to win. But want to see him get the finish. Want to see you get the finish, big dog. All right, so let's break this thing down one more time. Kevin Holland, 25-11. Michal Alexichuk, 19-7. Getting ready to go at it here. UFC 302. First of two. Back-to-back middleweight fights. Both fighters touch gloves, and this thing is on. And we're sitting tight, getting ready for the big main event tonight. Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier. That's coming. Please believe it. But first, we got to see if Kevin Holland can do his thing in his return to the middleweight. He takes a big right already from Michal. USA chance allowed and clear for obvious reasons with Trump in the house. And it's been a while since the first fight of the main card, but still, no finishes. It's crazy. You're in New Jersey, right? Consider that a tough town. You want to see some big finishes, and you get nothing. Oh, big left by Michal. Kevin Holland goes right down. Oh, my goodness. Kevin's playing defense right now from his back, but... Oh, potential armbar. Look at this. The crowd's going crazy. And he's got it. He's got it. Oh, is he going to tap? Oh, my gosh. He's got it. Oh, wow. He's got it, but Mahal's not tapping. Kevin's talking to him. Oh, my gosh. And you can see he's in pain, but he's not tapping. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're going to stop it. And Michal is not happy about it, but his arm is not fine. That's the bottom line. And Herb Dean saw enough, and Kevin Holland throws his mouthpiece into the crowd. They're going crazy. And he jumps the fence, and we finally get a big finish, and he's going to shake hands with Donald Trump. Yeah. This guy, dude. This guy. So Donald Trump pumped up. Kevin Holland getting the big submission victory. And he's making his rounds right now. I mean, he's talking to everybody. Donald Trump, Dana White, everybody. He's now 26-11. And, hey, I got to say, Michal never tapped. He never tapped. I mean, and should the ref stop the fight? I don't know. They're going to be talking about this, but I don't think anyone's going to argue too much. But the bottom line is, should he have stopped the fight? Nonetheless, Kevin Holland is 26-11. And just like that, it's a wrap. It's an absolute wrap. Kevin Holland gets to win here, middleweight division, UFC 302. Wow. Wow. And, you know, you're getting looks at the replay here, and it's just, thing is, he never tapped, man. And the crowd's calling for it, right? Stop it, stop it. But should he have stopped it? I mean, it wasn't good. But should he have stopped it? I don't know. I don't know. But listen, we're going to take a quick break, man. Kevin Holland gets the win to kick things off here in the main card at UFC 302. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Well, they've added several bouts to the Whitaker-Chimaev card. We know Pavlovich and Volkov are fighting. D-Rod and Kelvin Gastelum. Johnny Walker, Volkan Oezdemir. Remember, this is happening in Saudi Arabia, so they're putting together a big card, almost like a pay-per-view event. Sher Magomedov, who is trending, will face a guy named Joelton Luderbach, whom I'd never heard of, and that's probably why Magomedov will win there. Jared Gordon versus Nasrat Haqparast, that's a good one. And probably crowd favorite, Abu Azatar, will take on Dennis Tiuliulin, which that'll be a great fight. And these are just some of the highlights on that card. But again, who cares? Because all we want to see is Hamza fight against Robert Whitaker. And I don't care how he gets the win. He's just got to get the win. It doesn't matter if it's a boring decision fight. I don't really care. The bottom line is we need Hamza to go in there and get the job done against a very good fighter in Robert Whitaker. It has to happen. All hands on deck. 5-round battle if necessary. But if I'm Hamza, I'm going in there and forget all the talk of me not having a gas tank and trying to prove that. Forget all that. That's just for the fans. If I'm Hamza, I'm going in there and I'm trying to finish Robert Whitaker with overwhelming force as soon as that bell rings. Overwhelming force. Yeah, you risk running out of gas if you don't get the finish. But he's good at going in there in the takedown game and riding you, things of that nature. But when we seen him get in trouble against Gilbert Burns when he couldn't do that, and against Usman, he gets injured late in the first round. So now you can't ride Usman in the second and third. Maybe instead you go into the Usman fight and just try to KO him, which I can understand why you may not want to go for that, because Usman is a pure striker with a ground game. But Hamza's ground game is better than anyone on the planet. So at any time, he could pull that out of his bag of tricks if he feels like that's the best route. But in this one, he needs to get back on board with a huge victory and put himself in position to fight for the title to where he cannot be denied. And if you go in there and just finish Robert Whitaker early in the fight, there's going to be a lot of people come back on board and say, hey, you know what? I want to see Hamza fight for the title. I want to see what he can do. And as Hamza fans, that's what we need, is we need the crowd support back. As much as we got a bunch of Fairweather fans in terms of Hamza who are mad at him still for missing weight against Nate Diaz, I feel like God intervened on Nate Diaz's behalf on that one. That was a good thing for Nate Diaz. People are still upset. And that he had sluggish performances in the next two fights against Burns. Well, Burns was prior to that, but he sluggish fight against Burns. Sluggish fight against Usman in the minds of the people. So he's got to come back here and get a dominant victory. He just has to in order to get the momentum to get a title shot. That's the bottom line.
Hamza Chimaev doesn't manage his pace. It's going to be an early night for him. And, you know, you're already seeing this from Robert Whitaker. He's trying to get in Hamza's head and saying, hey, you better not come out fast. That just tells you that Robert Whitaker's worried about that. Right? He's trying to get in his head and say, hey, it's a 5-round fight. You better take it easy. If you don't manage your pace, you're going to run out of gas. And that will work in Robert Whitaker's favor. He'll lull him to sleep, get him into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and he's got a major advantage there. Hamza's got to get him out of this thing early. And Hamza, I hope you're listening. You got to come in there and finish him in the 1st round. Just make it easy. Worry about 5 rounds later. Robert Whitaker told Fox Sports Australia it's a 5-round fight, so I'm sure his pacing's got to be a lot different. Otherwise, it's going to be an early night for him. So, he is wary of the fact that Chimaev is a strong grappler. He's strong on the feet. He says it's something he's aware of. He's got power. He's got a clean 1-2 down the pipe. I'm aware of it. I'm not underestimating it, but I can handle it. I don't have the striking, or I do have the striking superiority. At least he thinks he does. And I think Hamza is superior to everybody. I don't think he's looked good against Usman or Gilbert Burns. I don't want to get on that fence, but the bottom line is he's superior to everybody, and will eventually show it at the highest level. And if he's going to beat a Robert Whittaker or somebody in like quick, dramatic fashion, and then people are going to have to be like, whoa, and they're going to have to pay attention again. Right now, they're using some of those recent fights against him, but that time will certainly come to be the past very shortly. Speaking of middleweight division too, Dricus du Plessis wants Adesanya and Khamzat Chimaev fights before chasing UFC champ status. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I noticed that he didn't say Robert Whittaker, right? He wants to beat everybody first. Robert Whittaker done. Wants to beat Adesanya, then wants to beat Khamzat. So if Robert Whittaker can beat Khamzat, then he gets Adesanya out of the way. He's not going to fight Robert Whittaker again. Then he's got some time to maybe go for the light heavyweight belt. And he should get if you're the champ and you're clearing out your division, you should get an immediate entry to a title fight. And that's a division that you never know. If you don't have to go through the pipeline, you can go right to the title. Anything is possible. He said, I believe beating Adesanya, if Khamzat beats Whittaker, beating Khamzat, that earns you a spot at light heavy, right? So, and that's assuming that Khamzat's going to beat Whittaker from his standpoint. But he's already assuming that, and he's going to have to deal with Khamzat at some point. Also saying that his focus is 100% at middleweight. So I'm liking everything I hear from Dricus du Plessis.
Rosa still seems like confident that he won the fight. I don't think so. Waiting a decision now. Just can't make the case that he won. And here we go. Win streak's about to be ended, I have a feeling. The win streak is about to be over. It was fun while it lasted. 6-3 right now. Or 7-3, excuse me. Probably about to be 7-4. Here we go. Come on, Bruce. Give me a miracle, Bruce. Give me a freaking miracle, man. 29-28. 29-28. 30-27. It's got to be Whittaker. Well, yeah. Robert Whittaker gets the win. Dang. And the win streak is over. But listen, great fight right there. Middleweight division. Neither of these guys is going to fight at UFC 300, it looks like. You never know if you get a quick finish. Guy can get the call, but it's not going to happen. Robert Whittaker holds serve in a great fight. Great attempt by Paul Locosa. Take nothing away from him. He falls to 14-3. Whittaker 26-7. And now he'll get a fight above him. And that's what you want if you're Robert Whittaker. Middleweight division, UFC 298. If I had to make a prediction for how this is going to go, I'm going to say Sean Strickland's going to win the decision. It's about to get real. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's going to be split. 48-47 Strickland. Oh, my God. 48-47 du Plessis. Oh, my God. 48-47. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And... No! Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Dricus just stole the belt, baby. Dricus just stole the belt. What'd I tell y'all, man? We'll take the 6-6 night with the 2-0 in the main event on the year. Let's go. Wow. Wow. Dricus du Plessis steals the belt with a split decision. And just that drama for those last 5 seconds might have made the whole night worth it. I don't know. But Dricus stole the belt. He's 21-2, and he says, hey, I'm not fighting Hamza, so forget about it. We'll talk about that next week. But for right now, Dricus du Plessis is pumped. He stole the belt, and Sean Strickland has fallen. Despite dominating the stats, Sean Strickland has fallen. South Africa is going crazy right now to have a middleweight champion here at UFC 297.
Let's get into the co-main event. This is not the best card, but it is a good card, especially when you look at the co-main event, right? Middleweight showdown, right? Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, and Sean Strickland's got to win this fight to get a rematch against du Plessis or Adesanya. I don't think to him it really matters who wins. And he beat Adesanya soundly and lost to du Plessis by split decision. So he should probably already have a rematch, but he's got to beat Paulo Costa first. And Paulo Costa's hungry right now. This is not going to be an easy fight. But let's get into that prediction right now.
In the middleweight division, your co-main event at UFC 302. You got a big one here. Sean Strickland, former middleweight champion, comes in at 28-6. Takes on Paulo Costa, who comes in at 14-3. A guy we haven't seen in a while. This is American versus Brazilian. Both guys stand 6'1". Both guys 33 years old. Strickland, 4-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Both guys right around 6 significant strikes per minute. And both guys less than 1 takedown per 3 rounds. So, very similar, to say the least, between these two. In terms of everything. Reach, stance, activity, significant strikes per minute, takedown average, all that. Now, in terms of takedown defense, very close as well. Both guys right around 80%. I mean, it's crazy. They're even in every category. But is it really an even fight? Well, let's see. Sean Strickland has been very active over the last 2 to 3 years. He lost the belt to Dricus du Plessis by split decision. But he outstruck him 173 to 137. He gave up 6 takedowns. That was the problem. So takedown defense, still strong at 77%, but not so strong in that fight. Before that, he beat Adesanya by decision, Abu Magomedov, second round KO, and Nazaruddin Amavov by decision. Prior to that, though, he lost to back-to-back fights to Jared Cannonier and Alex Pereira. So certainly fighting better as of late. Even the loss against du Plessis, he fought well. Now, Paulo Costa is coming off the loss to Robert Whittaker back in February. That was by unanimous decision. I forgot about that fight. Before that, he beat Luke Rockhold 73 to 51 in significant strikes, 2 takedowns to 1, won that by decision. Before that, he lost to Marvin Vettori and Israel Adesanya. So when you look at his 14-3 record, 3 of those losses came in the last 4 fights. He was at one point 13-0. And it has just been derailed as of late. This is going to be an interesting fight because you never know what can happen here. I mean, both guys are pure strikers. Likely someone's going down, or we're just getting ready to see a great battle. But I like Sean Strickland to win this one. I think he's been more active lately. I think Paulo Costa will be better in this fight. It will be a very close fight. Unless someone gets dropped, which is what I think is actually going to happen. So it's either going to be a close fight or someone's getting dropped like in the 2nd or 3rd round. And if I got to bank on that, I think Sean Strickland is the one that's going to drop his opponent here to move to 29-6. Sheer striking affair. Both guys with great takedown defense. Let's see if Paulo Costa will see what Dricus du Plessis did to Strickland with the 6 takedowns and try to go for that. But regardless, I think Strickland's going to be better in that department. Move to 29-6. Get to finish in the 2nd or 3rd round. Middleweight division, co-main event, UFC 302.
Yeah, and as a Hamza Chimaev fan, and I hate to tell you that Sean Strickland's going to win, but that's exactly what's going to happen. And he's likely to get the rematch. Hamza will likely beat Robert Whittaker and will still be on the outside looking in because you still have Adesanya, you still have Dricus, You still have Sean Strickland, right? So he'll still be like the fourth guy, even with a win over Robert Whittaker. Now, if Hamza wins and Paulo Costa wins, then either Hamza gets a direct fight for the title, or he's got to fight Paulo Costa, which was a fight that should have happened anyway that never happened. So, a lot of possibilities there.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back. Sean Strickland making the walk to the octagon. In fact, he's getting checked out right now. So this fight's about 2-3 minutes away from kicking off. And just listening back, you know, Hamza Chimaev, that big fight is looming in 2 weeks. And we're going to have a lot more to talk about when this fight right here is complete. This will have big implications on what happens next. I don't think you can deny Sean Strickland if he wins this fight. I just don't think you can do it. I don't think you can deny him if he loses his fight. So both fighters getting introduced right now, and a lot of tension ahead of this one. A lot of tension. Because Paulo Costa trains at such a high level, man. Fighting out of Brazil. He's 14-3. But the other storyline, which we'll get into during this fight, is the American crowd is amped up, right? Kevin Holland just getting the win. Now you got Sean Strickland. Imagine he wins this. The crowd is going to be going nuts for Dustin Poirier to knock off the #1 fighter in the world in his third attempt at a title. Sean Strickland getting introduced and the crowd is going crazy. He's 6 foot 1 inch, 185 pounds, fighting out of California. He's nearly a 2.5-1 favorite. Former champ, #1 contender, right? A lot of people think that that fight with Dricus du Plessis could have went a different way on the judges' scorecard. So he's right there in line for a title. That's why this fight is so intriguing. So let's set it up. Sean Strickland, 28-6. Paulo Costa, 14-3. Huge middleweight division fight. Big opportunity for Paulo Costa to get back into this thing. If you beat him, you're going to be up there at #1, #2. And then you got Hamza versus Robert Whittaker looming in 2 weeks. So both fighters staring each other down. And this is a high-level fight. And we're underway. And the American crowd is fired up after Kevin Holland got the win. And then you got Dustin Poirier coming up next, looking to dethrone Islam Makhachev. Paulo Costa moving really well right now. We'll see if that messes up Sean Strickland, who's going to, you know, got the kickboxing stance, is going to remain flat-footed. And already, I mean, it just, gosh, Sean Strickland, just the way that he goes about his business, you just already see Paulo Costa slowing down. Right? He's real animated, lots of movement. Sean Strickland stands in one spot and lifts that lead leg and just walks you down. So we'll see how this is going to play out. But right now, to me, Costa's already fallen in to the fight of Sean Strickland. And a nice left by Paulo. Sean Strickland not changing anything right now. Looks very calm. Right, he's down 7-4 in significant strikes right now. But he's going to pressure the entire fight. But he's got to get going. You know, he's more suitable for 5 rounds to me. Tough guy to beat in 5 rounds. 3 rounds, you got to pick up the pace. You don't have much time. Oh, and excuse me, this fight is 5 rounds. I forgot. Wow. Wow. Forgot about that. Come on, Sean. Let's go, baby. Get Costa out of there quick. And we're sitting at 8-2 right now on the night. Could get to 10-2. See what happens. We got Sean Strickland and Islam winning. Yeah, and lifting the knee, the leg, is really causing problems for Costa. As Sean Strickland battles back now, 14-12. He's just down 2 significant strikes, so slowly starting to take shape. Head strikes almost non-existent, 1-1 at this point. Man, he just continues walking forward and just landing lead leg kicks on Costa, who's it's clearly affecting, not because of any, you know, like it's hurting or anything like that. It's just having an effect where Sean Strickland's able to control this fight, dictate the pace. And you got to always be worried about that leg coming up in front of you. And he continually walks you down, lands a big right. Takes a left from Costa. And a lot of movement by Costa, side to side, backwards. This is easy for Sean Strickland. He's just coming forward. Every time he's forced to move, it's just wearing him down slowly. And when I was getting on Sean Strickland at the beginning, thinking it was a 3-round fight for a second, until I quickly reminded myself, right? But Sean is just taking his time. No need to rush here. He's pulling ahead now, 20-18 in significant strikes. And really controlling and dictating the pace of this fight, causing problems for Paulo Costa. Because you can see, Paulo Costa's not moving as much. He's got his hands out trying to protect from those kicks. And that means he's not covering himself. And Sean Strickland's eventually going to make him pay for that. And there's a tap, 10 seconds. Yeah, so Sean Strickland probably won that round, 24-19 in significant strikes. Head strikes just 2-2. It was really the body strikes, 18-12 for Sean Strickland, that led to the gap. So tough round to judge, but when you're watching it, Sean Strickland dictated the pace, and he continually came forward throughout the fight. That's the bottom line. That's how things stand right now. Costa drinking a lot of water or juice in the corner. Obviously breathing pretty hard because he's constantly moving side to side, right? And when Sean Strickland comes forward, Paulo Costa, when he's reset, then he's got to, slide side to side once again. He's constantly having to move because Sean Strickland is just coming right at him. And I think eventually Sean Strickland's going to raise the leg, watch those hands drop, and drop the right hand on Costa. That's how I see this playing out. Costa clearly in great shape, man. He looks strong, he looks fit, looks like he's got the energy, but you're dealing with a very tough guy in Sean Strickland. Nice leg kick by Costa. See, he's dropping those hands every time he raises a knee. Boy, something's coming. Sean Strickland's bringing something in this round, I guarantee it. Setting it up. And it's going to come like in the final 2 minutes of the round, too. Oh, nice left by Costa. Come on, Sean. Let's go, Sean. Find it. Come on, Sean. Find it, Sean. Don't get out of your pace. And Kosa doing a good job of landing some leg kicks. And that's how you slow down a guy like Strickland, right? Constantly raising that leg. You got to start to put pressure on one of them. Make it harder. Kosa feels something with these leg strikes. He's starting to go for more. He's up 10-6 right now. 3:20 left, round 2. He's got to find something. Yeah, Paulo Costa having not quite moving as much. That movement is almost non-existent. And is playing right into the hands of Sean Strickland. And there's the right. And that's exactly what happened. Costa dropped the hands. Boom. Sean landed the right. And he's going right back to driving the knee up. Doesn't even kick, but once every 5 times. But Costa's putting his hands down to protect himself from it. Six straight, no kick for Sean. Just driving the knee up. Gosh, he's a problem. He is a problem. And I would love to see a guy like Hamza fight him, because Hamza's going to go in for takedowns. He's not going to deal with the pace of Sean Strickland. And then we'll see what happens from that point. But, you know, Sean causes people problems when you sit there and try to stand and strike with him. Man, Sean is being patient. Ooh, nice left by Sean. Let's go. And if it wasn't for the guy that they're rooting for, these fans would be going crazy right now. They're just dying to see a KO. They haven't seen one all night. Paulo Costa comes in with a left. It gets blocked. Yeah, nice kick by Costa. A left landed by Sean Strickland. But those kicks could become a problem for Strickland if he doesn't... Spinning back kick by Costa, who to me appears to be getting a little tired now. Not completely noticeable. I'm just seeing those hands drop. I'm seeing him take deep breaths. And we're late into round 2 right now. How's he going to look in round 4 and 5? And this is why this pace is perfect for Strickland, because he's used to going 4 or 5. Paulo Costa takes a left and a right, goes down, and then says, come on. So we'll see. But I think Sean's really starting to see him get tired. He's continuing to press. And he may not get the finish in this round, but this round is going completely his way. And there's a tap. Paulo Costa clearly getting more and more tired minute by minute now. Yep, and that's only 2 rounds. And what do you tell your guy in the corner right now? Go forward in round 3 and risk being totally gassed, or slowly get more and more tired? I mean, I don't know. At some point, you're going to have to go for it, right? Yeah, and Sean Strickland's corner saying, hey, man, right hand, you got it. Straight down the middle. Paulo Costa taking some deep breaths, drinking more of whatever he's drinking. And, you know, you're going to see first 2 minutes, Paulo Costa is going to look okay. But now this round, it's going to be the final 3.5 minutes. He's going to get more and more tired. And that's only going to get worse in rounds 4 and 5 if it goes that far. Hopefully not. I'd like to see Sean get the finish here. But, you know. Problem is you still don't have a middleweight title fight set up yet. Between Duplessis and Adesanya. Maybe they're waiting on this fight. Because if you notice, they have not, unless I'm missing something, they have not announced Duplessis versus Adesanya yet. And if Sean Strickland wins this fight, what do you think he's going to be calling upon? Another tune-up? No, he's going to be calling on Duplessis to fight right now. Beat him by split decision. Strickland really working the leg kicks now early in round one. Nice left by Costa. But that's more desperation because he knows Strickland continues to move forward. Just constantly. Ooh. He's opening up now. Costa covers up, smiles. And they're back to the center. But every once in a while, you see Sean Strickland open up. But he doesn't have to take too many chances because he's winning at what he's doing. He's up 60-48 in both significant and total strikes. Head strikes, 15-5. Body strikes, 38-28. So he's dominating in those areas. The only thing you can look at Paulo Costa here is he's leading in leg strikes barely. 16-13. Ooh, Paulo Costa kicked Strickland, and that hurt his right leg. As he backs off and kind of moves around trying to get cleared up. But Sean Strickland remains patient, smart. Comes in with a left, right, left, and another left. And we're seeing how tough Paulo Costa is at the end of the day. Even if he takes another loss here, which, you know, hurts. But he just kicked Sean Strickland and hurt his right leg. And you could see him, you know, you could tell by his facial expression. He bounces around for a minute, hangs in the fight, and he's still going. So maybe as more time goes on, Paulo Costa gets a little more respect. But he's piling up some losses. He's got 3 now. But all the losses have come against solid opponents at the top. And a nice lead leg kick by Sean, followed by a left jab. Just continuing with the pace. And he can do this for the next 2 rounds, if need be. Really pulling away now, 77-55. And significant in total strikes. 127 left, round 3. Come on, Sean, land that. Oh. Come on, Sean, pick up the pace, baby. And you might say that Paulo Costa's getting his second win. Not because he's picking up his pace, but he doesn't look as tired right now. And a nice right by Costa there. 35 left, round 3. Let's go, Sean. Let's go, Sean. Left, right, left. Okay. And he had Costa cornered for a second, and Costa got the heck out of there quickly. I hear you. I get out of there too. It's kind of like Sean Strickland's always walking forward, always walking you down. He'd love to have you in a pickle where you can't move. And Paulo Costa goes to give him a fist bump, and Sean has none of it. He turns around and he walks away. So Paulo Costa now takes a seat. You can see him getting worked on right away. Doesn't seem to be breathing as hard though, so he's kind of getting into the groove of the fight. Although this totally favors Strickland, right? He had the middleweight title. He's been in many 5-round fights. You know, so Paulo Costa is no stranger. He's had 5-round fights scheduled before, whether they've gone that long or not. But I think it's clear to say that Sean Strickland has a major edge going 5 rounds against some of the best in the division. And he's heading into rounds 4 and 5 with Paulo Costa. So big advantage for Sean Strickland, and he already leads. Head strikes 26-8. So think about that. 3 rounds in the books. Paulo Costa's landed 8 head strikes. And it's just, this is what we talk about in the prediction, right? When we're making these, him and Alex Pineda are very tough to get in there and just try to dance around with and strike because they're constantly coming forward. There's a lot of pressure. You're going to have to move a lot. You got to deal with the leg kicks, the knees coming up, a lot of feints. And the way you got to beat Sean is you got to try to, potentially, if you can dominate the ground like a Hamza can, you got to get in there and land some takedowns and change up the pace. I mean, control time 0 and 0. No control time. Not even, I'm going to pin you up against the fence. No clinch. Nothing. Right? So if your goal is to go in there and do that with Sean Strickland, you're going to lose because that's what he's all about. Both guys exchanged lefts. Both landed. But when Paulo throws that kick again with the right, and you could tell he can't continue doing that because it's causing him problems. This is kind of how it looked with McGregor when he landed that kick. And then a little later, kind of stepped back on it, and that was it, right? And that's kind of what Paulo Costa's looking like. He keeps landing that leg kick and hurting his leg. And you see another one, and then he sticks that leg way back there. Doesn't even really want to put pressure on it. That's a bad situation against a guy like Sean Strickland, who's just coming forward, constantly pressuring. He lands a right. And you got to be able to have mobility. You got to be able to move. And if you can't, it's not going to be good. And you've certainly seen Paulo Costa slow down. He's not moving around as much. He is here and there, but just enough to get out of the way. You would just think Sean Strickland would open up more. You see a left, right, left there. Nice combination, but it's hard to believe when you watch the fight that Sean Strickland is up by 40 significant strikes. It just doesn't seem like it. And Sean just staring him down. I mean, this fight is going totally his way. Totally his way. No control time, no takedowns, no attempts. You know, Paulo Costa lands a strike, but then he takes 3 or 4 after that. Nice jab there by Strickland. there's some time in between strikes because Paulo Costa's, I mean, look at him. His eyes are constantly down on the knees of Strickland, and I'm surprised Strickland hasn't made him pay for that yet. Nice left uppercut by Costa. 1 minute left in the fourth. Fans booing a little bit. They've been sitting, I mean, the fans have been sitting around forever. Sometimes you have nights where there's a bunch of finishes, right? You got like 30-minute time slots between each fight. So if there's a finish, you got a lot of time with no fight taking place. On this night in New Jersey at UFC 302, I mean, from wire to wire, it's been nothing but fighting because you've had a lot of decisions. It's like one fight to the next, bam, bam, bam. 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever. And the first 2 rounds were a little close. Rounds 3 and 4, not even close at all. Sean Strickland leading by at least 5 significant strikes in every round. As we get to the final 10 seconds here in round 4. And we'll see what they tell Costa as Strickland just continues to pull away. This thing is going the exact way that Sean Strickland has wanted it to go. You got a guy in Paulo Costa who trains his butt off, right? Looked tired like in rounds 2 and 3. Doesn't look tired anymore. And you got to say to this guy, like, listen, as hard as you train, this is what you train for. Because now you got 5 minutes to finish the guy, right? Sean Strickland at this point can just go another 5 minutes and continue doing what he's doing, no problem. If you're Paulo Costa, you lost this fight. You got to go for a finish. And I don't hear any of that. When you get to this point in the fight and you're a manager or coach and your guy's down 4-0, forget telling them to jab right or this, that, and the other, and this technique or that technique. You got to tell them straight up. You got to have a finish. And I think sometimes these guys are scared to tell their fighters that. You know? It's going to lower, going to make him feel bad or demean him or whatever. It doesn't matter. You got to be real with the guy. He's got to know what you're seeing. Round 5 underway. And it's amazing when you have a big middleweight fight like this and it's just quiet in the arena. Kind of putting the fans asleep a little bit because the fight is going totally the way that Sean Strickland wants. I mean, it's crazy. Come on, Sean, get the finish. And Costa opening up a little bit with a big left right. Kind of whiffed. And he's throwing some punches a lot harder in this round right now. So at least he has an awareness of what he's got to do. You watch Sean Strickland do this to opponents. Just kind of lull them to sleep. Makes for a boring fight sometimes. And you just wonder, like, why can't these guys just go in there and land a big shot? Why can't they pressure? Why can't they shoot him for a takedown? And it's like, okay, maybe easier said than done. If you're the guy in there and you're seeing Sean Strickland walk forward and just driving those knees up, sometimes he shoots out the leg, so you got to be ready for a leg kick every time he does it. It just causes you major problems. Major problems. Fans starting to boo a little bit. And it's like they don't want to boo too much because I think a lot of people want to see Sean Strickland win this fight. American crowd, right? But at the same time, slight boos because we want to see a finish. And that's kind of what the mixed emotions right now in the arena. Costa's got to do something now. 240 left in the fight. And he's up 20-7 in this round. He would need a miracle. Like, you have to have two judges give him 2 close rounds that he lost, but the key word is close. And you'd have to have two judges give you those rounds. I just don't see that happening. And Sean Strickland clearly knows that. He's not completely playing it safe, but he's clearly aware that he's got this fight in the bag. And again, Paulo Costa's corner's got to be telling him, listen, you're down. Here's what's got to happen. But you're not getting any of that in between rounds. And that's a mistake. 140 left. No takedown attempts. Like, and I think that's the thing. Like, you're fighting Sean Strickland. You're thinking, okay, I'm throwing punches. He's throwing punches. We're going back and forth. You know, I'm caught up in this back and forth type fight. And you might think it's close. But at the end of the day, Sean is up by 40 significant strikes, right? So that's why you don't get the takedown attempts. That's why you don't get, in this situation, a guy like Costa going for, he doesn't want to risk it all by going for a KO and get caught. But the reality is, you got nothing to lose. But you don't necessarily know that. And that's the brilliance of Sean Strickland. He's starting to come back a little bit now. He's still down 29-21 in this round. And Sean's just cruising now, under 30 seconds. And Paulo Costa just fighting like it's the second round, first round. Nice right there by Sean. He didn't like that and landed a big left and right. And now he's going to go for it a little bit because he sees that clock getting low, and it's like, okay. Oh, a big leg kick on Costa. And here comes Sean at the end of the fight. Another leg kick. Straight leg kick. And Costa's running. Sean lands another leg kick at the bell. And man, wow. It's clear that he dominated this fight. And now what do you do? What do you do? Just precision work. And a lot of times Dana White isn't excited about fights like this, but Sean Strickland just dominated him. And you see Trump there on the screen. Fans let out a roar. And not the most exciting fight, but Sean Strickland, the American, will get this one too. And I can tell you right now, people are going to be fired up for Dustin Poirier to try to steal the belt from the #1 fighter in the world. We're seeing some of the replays now, but don't need to, right? I mean, it's the same thing throughout. Sean Strickland's walking forward to those high knees, landing leg kicks, jabs, big rights, and just being patient. And it doesn't seem like he's ahead by 40+ strikes. It doesn't seem like it. And that's why I think there's some of these opponents at the end. I'm sitting here like, Costa, why aren't you going for it? Like, why aren't these guys going for the victory? Can't they see they're down? Maybe they can't see. Maybe they feel like, hey, I'm in there throwing too. This is a close fight. And then you get to the end and it's 49-46. And you got dominated. So, yeah, and at the end, Strickland came on strong, man. Took Costa down with the right leg kick. And Paulo Costa is reeling at the end of the fight. Just reeling. Sean Strickland already's got his hand raised, and might as well talk about it now. Is he getting the next title shot? I mean, I think the UFC wanted to see this fight before they figure it out. And they know they got a big opportunity with Adesanya. But man, Sean Strickland lost by split decision. Excuse me. It's been a long day. Long day. Here we go with the decision. What? 49-46 Costa. What? Split decision. 49-46. Sean Strick. I mean, look at this, dude. You know they're going to be talking about this now. 50-45 and 49-46 Strickland. And is Strickland going over to the judges or is he going over to Trump? And he goes over to Trump. So this is a great night. Yeah, and I was wondering, does Strickland like Trump? What am I talking about? Like he's a huge fan of Trump. I'm tripping. And now he's getting a picture with Trump, and Trump is loving this because the Americans are winning. And they're all going over there and paying their respects, and Trump is just getting... Stay away from it, Chris. Stay away from it. But yeah, Sean Strickland is going to move to 29-6 here. Middleweight division, UFC 302. So yeah, we got one fight left, man, and that's it. And then, you know, title's on the line. The best division in the UFC, the title is on the line. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier as soon as we get back from this break. Going down. Stay tuned.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
As we jump into the Q&A, you got Dave, the man, it looks like, says, Paul has never been pressured by the likes of Tyson. Mike will be on him inside. Mike's muscle memory will lay a lullaby on the young man. And that's what people are saying, but I don't know, man. We're not going to know till this fight really starts. And we can see the first round and how this thing is going down. And then if it goes deeper into the fight, how Tyson looks as this thing continues. But yeah, a lot of people think Tyson's gonna finish Jake Paul. We'll see. Got someone else weighing in saying Macho Man much. Yeah. I guess the glasses kind of look like that a little bit. At Kloss MMA says Olberg sleeps Hill, to be honest. At Venom, Mitch stage fights to get the UFC call. So, you know, it doesn't, yeah, he did, but the bottom line is he got the call and he's here. So now he's got to make it happen. But good point. Another one says you kind of look like Nick Diaz. So you see what you got to deal with? You got one person saying you look like Macho Man Randy Savage and another person saying you look like Nick Diaz. Neither guy looks nothing alike to me. And then how do you play off that? At Fahed says, interesting. I know Costa has been inactive, but I got him winning the fight if he pressures Sean. Otherwise, I can see Sean taking him to a decision by throwing more volume. And yeah, that's very possible. And that's kind of what I think will happen, is if it does go to a decision, it's going to be an easy one because Sean Strickland is just going to, you know, that weird style slows down your opponent, keeps them off guard. We see that with Alex Pereira as well. And you just completely slow them down. So the activity for Strickland's going to be there. For Costa, it's going to be a rough night. At Homework is back, says the no gas tank is a myth in terms of Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah, it is a myth. One, he went down in welterweight, right? He was weak. Another one, he's at middleweight, he gets injured, so we really don't know. But he's not going to be fooled by Robert Whittaker. He's going to go in there and try to finish him in the first or second round and not worry about a gas tank because he knows he's got one. Another person weighing into is going to end in a draw, talking about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. There are no judges. It can't end in a decision. It's called a fixed fight. Well, the fact is now there are judges. And there will be a winner, more than likely. Now, if it is a draw, then we'll come back to this, of course. But I think someone's definitely winning this fight, in my opinion. I mean, I think that's the case. Someone's got to win this fight, or people are going to be... The controversial stories are going to really come to pass if that fight ends in a draw.
Now St. Denis opening up and Poirier slowing down. Poirier trying to throw. Poirier takes a left. Now it's St. Denis looking for another takedown. Poirier's holding on, and he gets out of it. Come on, Dustin. Come on, Dustin. Oh, nice left by St. Denis. Poirier slowing down. Boy, and they're swinging. Nice leg kick by St. Denis. Oh, a big left by Poirier. Come on, Poirier. Oh, he locks in. Oh, let's go, St. Denis, let's go. Here we go. Oh, he drops Poirier with the right. Woo! Woo! Poirier finishes Saint Denis. They're going crazy. They're going crazy. Poirier KO'd Saint Denis. Trump's on his feet. Everyone's going crazy. Oh my goodness. What heart. It's not time to retire, Dustin. It's just not time. After that win, you cannot retire right now. That's his 30th professional win, and he drops a guy that's 13-1. Many believe was the future of the division. And I'm telling you, these guys at the top of the lightweight have continued to hold serve against all newcomers. That's his 30th professional win. And this guy has, and beating Conor McGregor too, like the respect that this guy has is going to be legendary. I mean, because it's just like this win right here, I can't even explain to you how big this win was for Dustin Poirier. Unbelievable. Here it is. Boom. Both guys swinging at the same time, and he landed first. Saint Denis goes right down, and Dustin goes in for the finish here. Dustin Poirier KO'd Benoit Saint Denis halfway through round 2, lightweight division, UFC 299. Volkanovski taking a few hits. He backs off. Islam continues to move forward. Oh, big left by Islam. Volk probably better off on the feet than in the clinch. But Islam's still tough here too, so be ready. Islam coming in. And Islam trying to time it up. Oh, leg kick to Alex. Oh, he's in trouble. The crowd's going crazy. Islam on top. And it's over. Wow. And Islam tells everyone to calm down. Everyone quiet. Wow. And man, Volk never gets finished, man. Unreal. And now he solidified himself at the top. And you know what? If he fights Oliveira, probably the same thing happens. And Islam KOs Volk with a head kick. Unbelievable. He's 25-1, reigning defending champion, and still. Wow, we're gonna see this replay in a minute. So he's the man, lightweight division for a while. Who can take down Islam right now? Nobody. 17-0 in significant strikes. 39-9 total strikes. No, not like a good one. He had 9 regular. All zeros. Significant strikes, head strikes, body strikes, leg strikes. And both guys were in the clinch for about a minute, and they hug it out. And a lot of respect there. But Islam gets the finish 307 into round 1. And who would have thought that would have happened? Wow. But I guess we're not going to get the replay. Oh, here we go. Okay. And here comes a leg. Right to the top of the... Yeah. He got him. And Alex's hands drop right away. And let's make sure there's no controversy. Yeah, I mean, he wobbled him for sure. And then Islam goes in for the finish, and that's it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Alex is done, man. 26-3. 2 of the 3 losses to Islam. Lightweight division, UFC 294.
Now, UFC 302, and the reason why we're here is the lightweight title, the best division in the UFC, bar none. Okay? Has a title on the line. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier coming out this week, either today or yesterday, saying, hey, I'm going to KO Islam Makhachev. And there's no reason to doubt Dustin Poirier. 3rd time's the charm. This is the opportunity, but he's got to be able to defend takedowns. Takedown defense is everything against Islam Makhachev. He's certainly got the KO power to stand and strike with Islam. And Dustin Poirier has proven time and time again. He had a blemish recently against Justin Gaethje, but other than that, I mean, the guy's been on fire. Beaten Conor McGregor twice. Had to fight Benoit Saint Denis after the Gaethje loss and ended up beating him. People didn't expect that to happen. But every time he faces a lower contender, he wins, and he deserves a title shot before he rides out into the sunset, which if he loses this fight, he'll probably do. But let's get into this big main event right now.
In the lightweight division for the lightweight division title, you're seeing this right at UFC 302. Islam Makhachev, 25-1. That's just ridiculous. Takes on the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, who gets another shot at the title. He comes in at 30-8. So let's get into it. Islam Makhachev stands 5'10". Dustin Poirier, 5'9". Now, in terms of activity, that goes to Dustin Poirier, 5.5 significant strikes to 2.5 for Islam Makhachev. But the big question in this fight will be the takedown ability of Islam and the weak takedown defense of Dustin Poirier, who's shown that even when he gets taken down, he can still get submissions. But he's got a 63% takedown defense, lands like one takedown every 3 rounds. Islam Makhachev, on the other hand, lands more than one takedown per round. He's got a 90% takedown defense. So that's going to be the big storyline in this one. Islam Makhachev is on a tremendous run. Hasn't lost in a long time. Coming off the win over Volkanovski in the rematch by KO. It didn't take long. In round 1, he ended up leading 24-4 in significant strikes. Now, how did the Diamond get here? He lost to Justin Gaethje, who fell to Max Holloway at UFC 300. So that's opened a door for Poirier to get the title shot because he came back and beat Benoit Saint-Denis, a fighter that a lot of people didn't think he would beat. But he ended up dominating him in that fight and getting the KO. In the second round, he trailed 50-28 in significant strikes, but found a way to win. And see, that's the Diamond's MO, right? It may not look good, but he may get taken down 4 times, but he'll find a way to submit you. He always finds a way to win. But the tough part is Islam Makhachev is not going to make that easy. It's not going to be easy and highly unlikely that he's going to go in there and reverse position on Islam Makhachev to get the victory. So I say Islam Makhachev retains the belt. It's going to be a great fight, but eventually Makhachev takes him down and controls him on the ground. But DP will fight off submission after submission in this one. It will be a battle. Dustin will have some chances here, but Islam's just going to grind out a victory to retain the belt and move to 26-1. Lightweight division for the title at UFC 302.
Yeah, so as much as I like Dustin Poirier, I got to be real with you because Islam Makhachev is top 5 on the dude list. That means I put him up against anybody in the lightweight division. And maybe the welterweight division too, for that matter. That will be a tough, a tall order, especially against a guy like Leon Edwards. I think he'd have a better chance against Bilal, which might be the reason why they're training Bilal. They want to see him beat Leon. I don't know. I'm speculating. But the bottom line is this is an intriguing matchup. It's one that if Dustin Poirier wins is going to be a lot like the Max Holloway fight, because right now we view Islam as being ridiculously good, especially when he beat Charles Oliveira, 2 guys that had like 10 or 11 fight win streaks coming into the fight, and he took him down, took him apart. No one else could do it. And now he's like the king of the hill. So, and it will remain that way until he loses. And that will be a shock when he does lose the belt.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back to the TCMMA podcast. It's your boy Chris Cross. Islam Makhachev making his walk to the octagon right now. And I'm totally conflicted on this fight, but more on that in a second. We're having an unbelievable night so far, which makes this main event even tougher. Only lost 2 on the night, man. It's been incredible. So here's what it looks like. Right, you see all the W's. We lost Phil Rowe and Alex Morono. That's it. That's it. So we're 9-2 right now on the night. Big night for us. And we need Islam Makhachev to win. Why? Because look at the main event, 9-8. We were struggling earlier in the year, 4-7. Ran off 5 of the last 6. We need Islam to win. He's supposed to win. But I'm highly conflicted because you got Trump in attendance, right? You got Americans winning in every fight, it seems like. Sean Strickland, Kevin Holland going up to Trump, right? And everybody wants to see Poirier win. And that would cap off a perfect night for the American crowd. And if you're Donald Trump too, I mean, all the Americans winning and an improbable win potentially by Poirier. I mean, it couldn't get any better than that. So I'm very conflicted. And I'm sorry already if I say this throughout the night. I can't help it. Because Trump there kind of changes the game here in this fight. I mean, you got the crowd going crazy when he entered. Every time they show him, the crowd goes crazy. Every time someone wins a fight, they're jumping over the cage and going over to say hello. Sean Strickland getting a picture with him. It's crazy. But, you know, Islam Makhachev is the baddest dude on the planet. And Dustin Poirier gets a third opportunity to get the belt. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And he's getting checked in right now. And he looks like he's in great shape. Just a very strong lightweight fighter. And what's the game plan here for Poirier, who is arguably at his height right now? Coming off the wins over McGregor. I mean, the only setback was against Justin Gaethje. But he came back in the last fight against a fighter in Benoit Saint Denis that everybody swore was the future. And Poirier finished him. So anything is possible, but you expect the takedown game here for Makhachev to be in full force. No doubt about it. And Poirier staring him down. He knows the time is now. He's 35 years old, getting his third opportunity. And you start to go downhill pretty quickly after this. You start seeing 36, 37, 38. Yeah, you start to go downhill pretty quickly. Makhachev 1 inch taller at 5'10". Poirier 1 inch reach advantage. Both guys fight left-handed. And how does that play into it? Islam used to righties, obviously. And Poirier is very active, man. 5.5 significant strikes per minute. Takedown defense will be everything in this fight. So let's tee it up as both guys get introduced. Islam Makhachev, champion of the best division in the UFC, the lightweight division. Number 1 pound for pound in the world. He's 25-1. Dustin Poirier, challenger, third opportunity. American, fighting in New Jersey in front of Americans. He's 30-8. And I can promise you everybody wants to see him win. Trump is in attendance. That has slid the crowd to be even more active for American fighters. And I barely just booing once in the Sean Strickland fight. If that was any other fighter, they would have been booing like crazy. Because it was just a slow-paced, kind of boring fight, really. But again, Americans getting the victory, all jumping the fence, saying what's up to Trump. And I'm highly conflicted in this fight. Highly conflicted. We're 9-2 on the night. We need this main event to come through for Islam. But if Dustin wins, I can't help to be excited for the guy. I mean, let's just be real. This is going to be a fun fight to watch. Hamza in 2 weeks, not very fun. Going to be stressed out. Islam, big fan. Poirier could make his whole life and career if he can get a win here. And he's over a 4-1 underdog. Fighting out of Louisiana. The Diamond, Dustin Poirier. And he's been talking about retirement every fight. But I don't think that matters like it does for other guys. It's not going to change the landscape of this fight one bit, whichever way it goes. So Dustin Poirier has been introduced. Islam now being introduced to some boos. He's over a 6-1 favorite. And he's getting booed not because people don't love Islam, not because people don't like him as champion. It just has to do with America right now. I mean, this is going to be a big topic of discussion going forward, regardless of what happens in his fight. I mean, and we have not seen a KO finish tonight, which means the fans are hungry. Islam Makhachev introduced. Here we go. Tense moments. Best division in the UFC. And the title's on the line. Both guys touch the gold gloves. And this thing's going to be on and popping. Yeah, man, I'm with you, DC. I'm nervous too because both these guys you like. I mean, it's crazy. With everything on the line. I mean, this is just cool. Can't help but to root for Dustin, you know? But I need Islam to win, so I don't know. And here we go. Here we go. And a leg kick already by Dustin. He missed. USA chants getting louder and louder very quickly here. And you can see it on Dustin. Like, he looks good, but the time is now. And Makhachev coming in with a left and a right already, looking for a takedown. And Dustin's going to try to dig the underhooks. He gets taken right down. And unbelievable. And that's not good. Dustin's got good defensive skills, don't get me wrong, but this is not the place he wanted to be. Inside of the first minute with Islam. Dustin's very good about keeping his chin down. He's very aware of the situation. But you got the best guy in the world on top of you. When you're looking at the ground game. Best in the world right now. And it's just a problem. I mean, this is what you hope didn't happen. And you know Dustin's got to be obviously aware of this. And you still can't stop it. Oh, he's got a Kimura here. Boy, and Dustin's in trouble when he spins out of it. And now Dustin trying to stand up. And Islam takes the back with the body triangle, body lock, whatever you want to call it. Man. Oh my gosh. And we've seen Dustin here before, and he's very good again at keeping the chin down. But we'll see how Islam's going to play. There's plenty of time. 2:40 left. And Poirier in all types of trouble. And Dustin really trying to fight the hands. He's making it tough on Islam. Fans chanting USA, trying to keep his mind right, keep him in it. Boy, and Islam's pounding away from behind as well. And Poirier's very good at this, but Islam, you got to believe, is better. And how long can Poirier hang on? Right now he's doing fine. And Islam tries again, can't lock it in. And he's just so good on the ground, man. He's just so good on the ground. And it just completely takes Dustin out of the fight. Dustin trying to stand up. He put his arms down for a second. Nearly got himself in trouble, but he's got his hands back up again. 120 left in the round. Oh. That was close. And Dustin trying to spin. He's trying to do everything he can to spin. But when he does so, he's got to put his hands down and try to, push up. And that's when That's the moment you could get caught. And Dustin's not really taking a lot of punches, just 4-0 in significant strikes, 34-2 in total. But it's just still a dominant performance for Islam in this round. Just controlling the heck out of Poirier. He's got the body lock still in. He's got the back. And you're basically dealing with no trouble. And the fans getting loud because there's 20 seconds left in the round. They just want to see Poirier get out of this. And the fans are going to love this because Poirier will get a chance to stand up at the end of this round. That's the big advantage in MMA, right? Is when the round ends, you get the opportunity to stand back up, and we'll see what happens. And both fighters walk away from each other, but Islam just dominating round one. (39-6) total strikes, 4-0 significant strikes, and Dustin's gonna have to figure out a game plan here where he can stay on his feet. Easier said than done. I don't know if anyone can do it, to be honest. And even when you stand on the feet, there's still trouble. One good thing you could say for Poirier right now is he comes out of the round clean. He looks good. You know, it's just he got controlled. And boom. Nice right jab early in the round by Poirier. Had to be real early because he spent 4 minutes on the ground. And that's the why this is the best division in the UFC, because there's so much technique. I mean, these guys can guys like Islam and others can take you down, just control the heck out of you. There's other guys in the division that are KO specialists. I mean, it's crazy. Islam continues to come forward looking for a takedown. Gets the single leg. And here we go again. We're only 20 seconds in and Poirier's in trouble, trying to get loose, and he does, and the crowd loves it. And when they're on their feet, Dustin has a chance. And lefty versus lefty. You don't see this a lot. USA chance. Again. And it's crazy when they're on the feet, because it's like Dustin's one shot away from winning the belt. Or he's going to be in the same position as Colby Covington. 3 title fights, 3 losses. And you got to look at it too, like it's 1-0 right now, right? 5 rounds. Doesn't matter what Islam did in round one. He shoots in for the takedown, gets the single leg, and Dustin gets out of it, gets back to his feet. All he's got to do is shove off now. He's got to shove off. Lands a nice uppercut on the way out. And the crowd is going crazy. They love that. Doing a great job of staying on his feet. So 2 times in a row, Islam got the leg, and Dustin did everything he can to rip, and pull the leg out of there. Poirier's got to get something going. He's got to find a way to slow Islam down just a little bit. Got to land some big punches here. And right now he's 1 for 16 on significant strike attempts. So he's whiffing a lot. And here comes Islam with a right and a left. Now Poirier backs him up with a jab. And when Poirier comes forward, Makhachev goes back. So there's a little respect there. But I think, in this round, the main thing for Poirier is, regardless of how it goes, don't get taken down. Right? prove to everyone and yourself that you can defend the takedowns and keep the fight standing. And then you start to go for it later on, if not now. Here comes the takedown attempt. This would be the worst thing that could happen over the final 2 minutes. And Poirier trying to dig the underhooks, see if he can. No luck so far. He's defended 3 to 4 takedowns. And we'll see. And there's 2 underhooks by Poirier, who spins them and takes Islam back against the fence. The crowd is loving this. And this is right where Poirier wants to be. Little clinch control is not bad. Yep. Ooh, nice uppercut by Poirier. And Makhachev responds. Poirier shoves him off. Crowd loves it again. And a right jab coming out. Come on, baby. Oh. Totally conflicted in this fight. 1 minute left, round 2. Goodness gracious. Tell you, Dustin's looking a lot better in this round. I don't know if he's winning it, but definitely slowing down Islam. Ooh. And a nice body shot by Poirier, followed by a left. So now when Islam comes in, he's pounding away. And the crowd's on their feet, and Poirier's saying, come on. And this is what Poirier needs. He's got to get into a fight like this, where it stays standing. And Poirier's having some success in this round. Doing everything he can not to give up a takedown here at the end. And he does get taken down with 13 seconds left, but it won't really matter. Right? And he kind of knew that that could happen with the way he was going about his business here. But that'll do it for round 2. And the crowd's on their feet. They're loving it. Poirier's got a chance. I mean, Poirier's got a realistic shot to do something here. Islam's still winning the fight. 62-29 in total strikes. 22-15 significant. Head strikes 18-10. I mean, Islam's leading everywhere. 5 minutes of control, but almost all of that came in round 1 on 2 takedowns. So Islam is winning the fight. And you got the fans chanting something and the other 20% booing. So I'm not sure what's being said, but a lot of USA chants in the crowd. And no panic in Islam's corner. But they are having him stand and take some big deep breaths. So maybe a little concern, right? Islam could totally flip it here and land a takedown and dominate this round. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But right now, before any of that happens, Dustin Poirier's got a shot. And here we go, round 3. And when you get in there with a guy like Islam, you know, you got to get the round 3 because it's kind of like everyone struggles to get this far. Except for Volkanovski in the first fight, right? So the deeper you get into the fight, it's kind of like you got to be building confidence. Because there's a chance you could be out of there in round 1 against this guy. That's how good he is. And a nice knee there by Islam. Dustin Poirier's tough, though. He takes a left uppercut and a right. Oh, and Poirier grabbed onto Islam. That was a mistake. And now Islam grabs him. He's looking for the takedown. And he's going to get it, it looks like. Poirier goes down to one arm and a knee. And Islam slowly taking him down and taking the back. And Poirier's got to get to his feet at all costs here. Ah. Yeah. And Poirier goes down. And this move here looks a lot like Khabib versus McGregor. Right now for Islam. Oh. And Dustin's not keeping his hands up, but he is keeping his chin down. This is what I said. I would not be surprised if Islam did this in round 3. This is a bad position to be in if he does go the course of this round for 3.5 minutes. Islam's got the back with a body lock to go with it. Now a little nervous tension in the crowd. Dustin just covering up. I mean, even if you're Islam and you don't get anything out of this, you don't get the finish, you still are not you're not in any trouble whatsoever, right? No trouble. But when Islam's getting close, but Poirier is masterful in keeping that chin down. Oh boy. Oh boy. And Islam had his best opportunity a second ago. Now he gets the full mount. And this is not good for Dustin as he puts the grabs around the arms. They can't keep the elbows contained. Makhachev in a true full mount right now. And Poirier flips it. Look at this. Watch the arm bar now. Oh no. Dustin was stuck in there for a second. And Islam goes right. Oh, back to their feet. And oh, the crowd is loving this. Come on, Dustin. And Dustin saying, come on. Yelling and screaming at Makhachev right now. And that's a little intimidation, right? Because it's like, yeah, I can get out of those takedowns. I'm here to fight. It's impressive, really. Regardless of what happens here, and I just remember going into the first McGregor fight, I'm just thinking McGregor's going to win this like he did the first time. And since then, Poirier's just been very impressive. The one loss of Justin Gaethje, yeah, coming back and beating Benoit Saint Denis, and now getting a title fight. Perfect time to give him one. He's getting older. And Gaethje lost. And these are the two guys that have been holding the top of the division for some time, but just can't seem to get the title. And we have no idea what's going on in the scorecards either. If you've been tracking this throughout the night, I mean, you've had two situations where, like Sean Strickland, 50-45, 49-46, and then a third judge the other way. What person on the planet thought Paulo Costa was anywhere close to winning that fight? So you just don't know what these judges are thinking. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be checking to see if that's the same judge that did that. Once all this is over and people start to look back and break this card down, I mean, was that the same judge? And Poirier lands a big left. And we're getting to the end of the third round now. And the fans are going to be on their feet here as they finish strong at the end of the third. And Poirier and Islam go forehead to forehead, touch gloves, and walk to their corner. So this is a... Man. Yeah, and you see Poirier's corner talking to him. What are you going to say right now? Like, other than just, good job stopping the takedowns, getting out of the takedowns. Excuse me. Long day. And now go for the win. That's the bottom line. That's all you could say. Go for the win. Yeah, Poirier looks good to me. I mean, yeah, he looks like he's been in a little bit of a fight, but not 3 rounds worth. Yeah, and you see their heads came together there, and then he took a knee right after that. So that was a rough back-to-back blows for Islam. Boy, and Poirier was stuck in a full mount, flipped, pushed Islam off of him, then almost got put in an armbar. And it's amazing. It seems like no one's better than Poirier at getting out of this stuff. And we've seen a lot of guys come and go since Poirier's been in the UFC. But even at 35, he still seems to be not necessarily getting better and better, but he's at his peak right now. There's just no question about it. That won't last long. Time is now. But he finds himself in round 4 with Islam Makhachev. And that there's going to be no Volkanovski situation where he gets another fight. He's got to win it this time around. If you're Poirier, you want to go for the victory, right? But you also can't allow Islam to take you down. Like, you miss on one big punch and you overextend, he's taking you down, and he'll be content with holding you down for the rest of the round. So as much as Poirier wants to win, and he is going for it, but see, now he gets into the body of Islam. Islam grabs him, he gets off. Crowd lets out a roar because they want to see this fight stay standing. That's where Poirier's got a shot. Crowd chanting USA, then now let's go Dustin. And he defends another takedown and shakes his head, and the crowd's loving that. And the thing that almost makes you, even though I got Islam to win and I care so much about our predictions, something that makes you root for Dustin is that he just doesn't quit. He's always in it. And you almost want to see a guy like this be the champion. You know, like, you don't want his career to end without being a champ. But at the same time, he's in a very tough situation. Now Makhachev has the head on the hip here against the fence. And usually, when that's the case, he's going to get a takedown. We'll see. Now Poirier trying to keep the legs wide, trying to keep a solid base. Now Islam gets the leg up. Poirier puts it back down. Poirier just trying to pound away a little bit to the body, to the head, just trying to get Islam to release his grip. And Islam picks Poirier up. Poirier maintains his balance. And I think Poirier took a low blow. Now Dustin's saying he hurt his leg, so we'll see. Got Islam really taking control of the back now. Dustin trying to stand up. He's got his butt high, which is what you want to do, trying to shake him off. But Islam gets his feet back down to the ground. And you can see the people behind in the crowd, just nervous tension right now. Everyone's on their feet. I mean, you're dealing with just no more than 6 minutes left in this thing. Now Poirier gets out of it, almost takes down Islam. And crowd's going crazy. It's a long shot, really, you know. And here comes Poirier, pounding away at the body. Ooh, and a big right by Dustin. And what a fight, man. What a fight. 20-20 in significant strikes in this round. So this is the breakthrough round. And Dustin pounding away at the body. The crowd's loving it. Oh, and Dustin let his guard down for 1 second. And Islam drove him into the fence. And you can see a few fans in the background just not happy about it. Almost looks like Theo Von back there. I don't know if it is or not. But if it is, he's fired up. Clock trickling down now, 15 seconds left in round 4. We got one more round up, but it seems to me that Islam is probably up 3-1, if not 4-0. And that'll do it for round 4. And what's crazy is when they're walking back to their corner, Dustin looks fresher than Islam. I mean, they got to get Islam cleaned up quick. And Dustin just smiling, walking back to the corner. I mean, this is, you know. And we'll see if there's any panic from Islam. I mean, I want to say, you know, if it's a normally judge, if you got three normal judges, Islam's got this fight in the bag 3-1. But again, with what we've seen tonight, there's nothing normal about some of these decisions. Thankfully, they've all ended up going the right way, but you had one judge that went way out to left field. You know? So now you're really looking at 2 judges and say, hey, I hope if you guys get it right, Islam's up 3-1. But if you're Islam, can you think of it that way? Can you just take Poirier down and hold him down? Could you end up getting robbed? Who knows? And here we go. Final 5. Ooh, baby. And again, Dustin in the same situation, right? He wants to keep the fight standing, trying to go for the big finish, to grab the title. Fans chant USA. Everybody wants to see you win. But one mistake, and you give up a takedown. So it's very difficult. Here comes Islam. Hey, he's got the freaking leg again. Dustin gets it out. Okay. Come on, Dustin, man. I'm getting tired, man. You got to do something for me here. 4 minutes left either way, but I need some excitement in my life here. Got no KOs on the whole night. After a week off, this is too much. Dustin shoves him off. First minute gone. 4 to go. There he shoves Islam off. And Dustin talking to him right now. Saying, come on, man, let's fight. That's not what Islam wants. Islam wants to take you down and finish it. Dustin wants to stand up and throw. Yeah, crowd getting loud now. Let's go, Dustin. It's crazy. It is. It's there for him, man. It's there for Dustin. But he's got to grab it. He's got to take it. Islam's a scrapper, too. You know, despite being on the feet. And when Islam takes him down, it's not to land a lot of punches. It's like he's trying to just hold position, gain position. But even on overall, it's 72-48 for Islam. And Islam takes Dustin down. Dustin gets out of it momentarily. And Islam grabs it once again. Ooh. And now Dustin in trouble here. Guillotine. And he grabs a hand here. 2:30 left in the fight. Now Islam's going for it again. And Dustin's in trouble. Oh, man. Gosh, and Dustin's trying to get out of it. And Dustin taps, and that's it. And you know he hated to have to do that. And Islam nearly finish him, and they jump on Islam, take him down. And Poirier's still laying on the mat because he's exhausted. And what happened was is Islam had it and had it locked in solidly. And Poirier had to tap. And literally, probably when he tapped, it was about to be over. And man, you got to feel for Poirier. 3 attempts, no title, and he fought great in this fight. But Islam Makhachev finds a way to win to move to 26-1. And man, a minute 50 from going the distance, which wouldn't have done anything. And it'll be nice to know what the judges' scorecards were here to see if Dustin even had a shot in this 5th round. And Dustin's getting up. He's good. And there's Khabib in the octagon. and he's talking to Dustin, and he's telling him, you know, great fight. I mean, it really was. It really was. Khabib looks 180 right now. Khabib looking like he's 180 pounds right now. Unbelievable. But man, Islam gets the win to move to 26-1. Khabib raises Dustin Poirier's hand. He knows it's kind of his last attempt. Poirier is going to fall to 30-9, and unfortunately for him, he loses his fight here. Lightweight division for the title, main event at UFC 302. So what a night, man. These guys hug it out. Just a great fight. And it didn't go the way of the American crowd. It was building up to this big boom that didn't happen, but it went for a while to where inside your head you're like, it could happen, it might happen. But it didn't, unfortunately. That's the way it turns out. But yeah, you see him grab the leg, flip it back. Poirier goes down, lets Islam get on the back. And usually Poirier's really good at these positions. But this time Islam locked it in from the side and got the finish, man. So Poirier goes down. That's the way this one finishes. We appreciate y'all watching. During this long night, we almost had another decision. 3 submissions, 9 decisions, 0 KOs at UFC 302. That's crazy. That's crazy. But listen, it's your boy Chris Cross. Hope you have a great day and God bless. As always, peace.